Hi everyone, welcome to Tome of Uselessness. This is Dan, solo video casting here, and I want to do a short video about a video game that I really recommend and feel that people should try out. It's pretty popular, but you may have not heard of it. The video game I'm talking about is Dota 2. It's a MOBA. It falls in the same category as like League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, and many others like that. It stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, and essentially what it is it's a 5v5 game that mixes tower defense elements, RPG elements, and basically PvP combat elements. So you start out the game, your character that you choose, and there are over 120 to choose from, has skills, and as you get experience and gold, you can buy items, and these help you fight better and use new skills to battle your opponents. And the point of the game is to defeat the other players or the other team's ancient. It's just to kill their base. And along the way, there's the creeps that spawn, and they run down the lanes, and then you, like I said, you fight it out, and you get stronger and better and faster, and then you just basically duke it out. The reason I really enjoy this game is there's a few reasons, and I'll get into more of them as I go, but the mechanics of this game are very tight. The controls are supremely good. When you click something, it happens and you make it happen. There's no auto assist there kind of is on some of the skills, but like you decide what happens and when you pull off a good combo or your team does, it is extremely satisfying. And the game is hard. I will not sugarcoat that. This is a difficult game, but it is insanely rewarding in that the amount of effort or time you put into the game rewards you extremely. Like the ratio is just out of control, because at the end of the day, you get better. Your knowledge gets greater. You start to learn how to execute combos and items with greater efficiency, and if you have that over your opponent, you're going to be the better player, not because they have Uber account or whatever kind of thing. But I'll get into that a little bit. So, interestingly enough, my first experience with Dota, I did not like the game. My friends and I were having a LAN, and we were playing Warcraft 3 tower defense mods, which is where it started in Dota 1. And my buddy who had played it a bunch, he's like, oh yeah, you should try this one out. It's pretty neat. He explained it to me. And we tried a game of it, and I was just like, nope, didn't like that at all. So we just went back to playing other things. And then I remember when Dota 2 launched, I had heard about it, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, they did a revamp of it, and this is something newer kind of thing, because before, like I said, it was a Warcraft 3 mod. This was going to be its own game now. And I think I remember installing it, but again, I clicked through it a bit, and I was like, no, this is just not my jam. Played other things, and etc. And I remember it was always in the back of my mind because I had heard about it and watched a little bit. There were some pro games and this and that, and again, it was kind of like, okay, I'm enticed, but I was drinking one night with some friends online. We were playing some video games, and two of my friends, one who was totally into Dota 2, and another friend, he was again same kind of headspace as myself, where I was like, yeah, you know what, let's just give it a shot. We're drinking. There's no big thing. You can play against bots. So we set up a bot match. I picked a character, Death Prophet, in this case, because I was like, oh, she looks cool. And we played a bot game. And I was like, okay, you know what? It was pretty enjoyable. Just the three of us, and then 2 bots fills out your spot. And we played against 5 bots. We had a good time. And I was like, okay, you know what? That's kind of neat. And then I came back to it the next day, and then, did the tutorials, and then started to kind of, play some more bot matches by myself or with some friends, just to try to figure it out more and more. And what really turned it around for me was the International, which is Dota's big tournament, which is actually coming up. They had like a learning stream, like a newcomer stream, and it was hosted by a few people, but mainly I remember Purge Gamers. He has a very good way of breaking down and understanding the mechanics of Dota, and they would actually explain things that were happening in the game and why the skill mattered and why the item mattered and what the heck was even happening. And I watched it all like twice, and I really understood the game after that. And like I said, I started to push myself some more into it, try out games against people and, this and that, and play with some of my friends more, and we started getting into it more. A game is extremely rewarding, like I said in the start. For the amount of effort you put into it, you get so much back. And so I have a blast playing this game. This game is frustrating to play. When things go wrong or your team is losing, it is still a lot of fun, just the way it plays out. No game is the same. There's always different hero choices. There's always different skills being used. Everything about every single game is different. Good thing about it, though, like I said, the learning stream at that one TI, they still do it. At least the last 2 TIs still has a learning stream. There's a lot of internet, Wikipedia, and there's online tutorials, and there's an in-game tutorial, and the ability to play bot matches really is a great thing to learn how to play the game against bots. You set them on easy, and you can have 4 bots on your team, 4 bots against the other team, and you just kind of play through the mechanics and see how the game plays out. Every game, depending on the skill level, can say range from like half an hour to 45 minutes to sometimes over an hour. So you gotta have invested some little bit of time into these games, but they're really fun. So there's so much knowledge out there to learn how to play the game that whenever myself still even there's like, oh, what does that skill even do? Or they patch it, so you can just quickly go online, look it up, kind of read it, see what's going on, see what other people have done, and you can learn immediately what's happening. The knowledge is out there for the characters and how to play. One of the reasons I would really recommend trying this game is it's free to play, released by Valve, so you need a Steam account and you can set one up easily. And then immediately, I think they changed it a little bit, like you can do the tutorial now and then you can play a couple bot games, but then your account, like there's no locking away of characters or heroes as other MOBA games. All the characters are available to you. There's over 120 of them. I think it's like 127 now or something like that kind of thing. There's a lot, but they're all available to you. And the game is free to play, but it's not like your account can be better than someone else's. The only thing you can gain with money, and you can win some in-game, is cosmetics. So you can just make your character look different or have a neat ambient effect or, animation or, taunt. None of that affects how good the character plays, though, against other people who don't have that item or don't have that cosmetic. There's no need to ever buy anything if you don't want. I myself have purchased stuff, of course, because I enjoy the game. Like I said, every year they you can buy things like tickets to watch tournaments, and then they give you items or this, things like that kind of thing. But none of it is necessary to play the game. There's only one map, and it does change over time. It's been patched and things added, things taken away, which makes the game fun again because it's constantly changing and evolving. And the characters that are kind of like the top picks change and stuff like that as well. But your favorite character is usually still always powerful, because if you get better at playing that character, you're going to be better at it. You'll be better than someone else who's unfamiliar with another character, because you know the way, the ins and outs, and how to execute that character better. In the lower rankings, or the level I play at, it doesn't matter what the top characters are. Sure, something might be a little overpowerful because of just a cheese skill or whatever, but your skill matters, and that's why I really enjoy it and recommend it. And it's worth the time to put in to get good at it. The game has a really thriving professional scene, probably one of the bigger esports out there, so this again might not be new knowledge to people. Valve, of course, which owns Counter-Strike, and that game is still around. This game is still around. I know League is quite big. StarCraft, of course, is big. Overwatch is trying their thing, but there's quite a few out there. But the Dota won lots of major tournaments, lots of minor tournaments. There's lots of cool stuff to watch, and I watch a lot of them because it really teaches you can learn from these people and watch them play. You have the ability, if you buy a ticket or even watch it in the game client, you can literally click and watch what they are doing with their mouse, how they move their screen around, see what skills they look at, what they buy, like how do they click on the opponent to see what you can see what they are doing. It's incredible to watch these guys play. just for the amount of, not just micro or action per second just because for the sake of it, but they are actually like clicking on stuff all the time to learn what's going on. And the pro scene is lots of knowledgeable commentators, lots of knowledgeable casters, and they rotate them, and depending on who's hosting the event or this or that kind of thing. But it's worth checking out. There's a large Twitch streaming, of course, and YouTube and Facebook. Occasionally they've tried some, but usually it's, of course, bigger on Twitch. Totally worth watching, and it's actually very enjoyable, and it becomes more enjoyable the more you understand the game, of course, because then you can understand why the play was so good. Why did these three characters executing this combination mattered so excellently, and why this one thing they did turn the game around. Worth checking out. A lot of fun, a lot of cool stuff, and that's why I was making this video, was because, as I mentioned earlier, there's a tournament called the International. They run it once a year, and this year it's in my hometown, Vancouver. It's the big prize. Like, they offer up $1 million of their own money, Valve that is, and they rent the arena, and they bring the players in and stuff like that, and the talent, and then the prize pool is crowdfunded by just players. They sell a ticket that you can purchase, and it gives you, like I said, some cosmetic items and this and that, and it gives you in-game ability to, work towards challenges, and the money raised from that goes to the prize pool. The prize pool gets quite large. Last year it was 23 million, I think it was. So it's pretty impressive. The top 16 teams, they battle it out. They've been announced for this year. It's all locked in, and it happens at the end of August. I would really encourage people to check it out, watch it. Even if you're not, totally into Dota, but you like video games, or you've watched other video games, it's worth watching just because of the spectacle and how good these games are. And it's interesting in the International because it's teams from all over the world, because a lot of times in some tournaments they'll just be like one region teams, right? So what makes it interesting is that like a team from China usually surprises people because they have a different style, or a team from Europe or this or that kind of thing. So it's really interesting to watch. Like I said, they probably will have a learning type stream, and so it's a great place to learn about the game and how it works and how the items work and etc. So I would encourage you to check it out, download the game, try out some bot matches, get some cool skills going, and pick a character you think that looks great, and just roll with it. It's a lot of fun, pretty fun. You can get going with some friends and start playing. Check out the International, happening at the end of August, and I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.